Hey everybody, welcome to Alaskan Reactions. Um, Not really a reaction today if you saw the thumbnail. Um, Doing some unboxings. Not that a bunch of people sent me stuff. Come on, we only have like 5,000 subscribers. People aren't sending us stuff. But I do have here a box, as you can hopefully see. It's hard to see, but right up here in the corner where I'm pointing, it says Ozzy. I have 3 of these tubs that are, I don't know, 3 feet long and 2 feet, foot and a half deep. They're big old tubs, and I have 3 of them just filled with Ozzy stuff. Um, and so I went and got them out of a storage I have. I had a house, I had a full Ozzy room 15 years ago, maybe, and then I got divorced and just some stuff. As you know, life happens. They ended up in a storage for a long time because I had, I was renting a room from friends for a few years, and then I bought a condo that I live in now, but it's pretty small, so I didn't have enough room for all this stuff, and honestly, I just hadn't got it out of the storage yet, and this kind of led me to do that. But I haven't looked in any of these boxes forever. I briefly had to open one just to double check that the Aussie stuff was in there, but I quickly just glanced and closed it back up. So I really only know a couple things that are on the top. Obviously, it's all my stuff. I'm going to know it when I see it, but I figured it'd be kind of fun to do an unboxing and look at all the crazy shit I've bought over the years that is Ozzy and Black Sabbath related. And who knows, there might be some other stuff in there too. There might be some Star Wars stuff in there or something. I am kind of a Star Wars dork as well. So let's check this stuff out. Let's see. Lift the top off. Again, there you can see it. Maybe where it says Ozzy. Hopefully that comes through kind of clearly. And let's look what we got. Oh, yes. First thing. The Diary of a Madman seat cover. I actually had 2 of these, but I ended up using one of them. I wore it out. If you can see that, though. Ozzy Osbourne seat cover. We'll stick that up there. Try not to get it too much glare on there, but yeah, Ozzy Osbourne seat cover. Interesting. I probably should have an empty one of these somewhere to put stuff in. But I don't necessarily. Well, that's all right. Set stuff on top of here. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, the first season of the Osbournes on DVD. Unopened. Paranoid. Oh, I remember when they ran this like on VH1 or whatever. It's kind of the story of the making of Paranoid. Again, also on DVD. Oh, and then Tribute on DVD. What do we have here? Oh, interesting. Okay. So let me put that up close so you can read all the stuff that's on the back. I hope. It's kind of glaring, unfortunately. Turn it just like that. There we go. Hopefully if you pause and can zoom in, you can see all that stuff. It's different. Let's see. April 28th, After Hours Club, 1981. I don't know. Suicide Solution, an Ozzy interview. Crowley, Crazy Train. May 2nd at the Palladium, New York. I don't know. Crazy Train, Believer. January 24th, 1982, Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. Over the Mountain, Mr. Crowley, Crazy Train, Revelation, Mother Earth, Steal Away the Night. And then the extras, MTV News clip, Randy wins, Best New Guitarist Award, Entertainment Tonight clip, LA Rock Resort, 2 on the Town, Letterman, March 22nd, 1982. That's crazy that Ozzy went on 3 days after Randy died. I've seen that interview, and it's bonkers. Crazy Train video, obviously that's the one he did like in 1987 with the live where he's, you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about. If not, you can find it. Quiet Riot, September 22nd, 1979. Picking Up the Pieces, One in a Million, Slick Black Cadillac. Quiet Riot, October 26, 1979. Randy's solo. Soundcheck, February 18th, 1982. And then Quiet Riot, Picking Up the Pieces, the video. All right. Didn't realize I had that. That's pretty cool. I like it. What else do we have in here? Oh, geez. Does it still work? Ah, still does. See if you can hear it. One more time. The Ozzy Osbourne doll. So you can see here, we got so much glare up there. I got to kind of turn it on its side. Sorry, when I do it like that, I get a ton of glare. Let me see if I can move these. Maybe that helps a little bit. There we go. I don't have to put it as much. Boom, and then there's the back. Got the whole family. If you order them all. One more time. We've all heard that. We've all heard the Ozzy rock and roll, right? What's next? Oh, another one. Another one. Oh, man, am I seeing some stuff in here already. Holy snikey. Ozzy Osbourne custom diorama with headless bats. Custom diorama with headless bats. Jeez, Jeremy, learn to hold stuff up correctly. Come on. There we go. And then, ugh. Again, is it this one? Why is everything glaring so much? Oh, I know why. There's no need for that. How about now? Still. There we go. Finally got my background glare off. Now let's turn that a little. Sorry guys, we're learning on the fly here. We're learning on the fly. Boom, Ozzy Osbourne. See if you can see it. Boom. Pretty cool. And hey, you know, not that there's much I would get rid of, but you never know. So if you see something in here that you really, really love, by all means, hit me up. Who knows? I might let it go. Oh, I had a bunch of these at one point. I'm sure there's another one somewhere. A coaster. It's basically like the material of an old mouse pad used to be, but Diary of a Madman coaster. You can see that, yeah. This needs to move over here. If that helps a little. There we go. Diary of a Madman coaster. Boom. Where'd that other one go? Magnets. The Praying Ozzy. Tiny little magnets. Diary. Blizzard. And Bark. Tiny little magnets. Whew. This is one of my prized possessions. There's a story behind this one. It doesn't glare too much. You can see that. It says, to Jeremy, best wishes, Ozzy Osbourne. And then turn those sideways. Oops. Sideways. Yes. Ozzy Osbourne, Fairbanks, Alaska, March 30th, 1992. And unfortunately... Ooh, that's cool, though. There's Mike Inez's. Mike Inez, 1992. His signature on the back of that card. These are my 2 tickets from 2 different shows. These are my first 3 shows that I... Actually, sorry. My first 3 shows. And these tickets, when I ran this all through the laminator when I was in high school, these tickets blacked out because they got heat on them, and it crushed me. It still crushes me to this day. But these tickets were so old school, the Fairbanks ones that I had, they didn't have the heat design thing on them, that they were good. Monday, 7:30 p.m., March 30th, the Carlson Center in Fairbanks. K. Wolf welcomes. Got the section on the floor. Oh my God. My tickets were $24.50. Can you imagine that? You know how much I paid for the Back to the Beginning show? But yep, to Jeremy, best wishes, Ozzy Osbourne. One more time, we'll hold that up. And no, nobody can have that. Oof. It's seen better days, though. This laminate is kind of starting to fall apart. Quick story on that. And then actually, I'm going to let you go. We're going to break this up into a few different. I'm already at like 11 minutes. We've been doing that. We're barely into the box. Is that crazy? I'm going to make a few different recordings of these. I'll put them out basically on the same night or within a couple days of each other. I'll put out 2 or 3 a day. But, you know, I don't want to make these things too long. But that story was, I might have told it when I told kind of like my history of being with Ozzy anyway a couple weeks ago, right after he passed away when I did that video. But anyway, if I'm retelling the story for some of you, you don't have to hear it. I was lucky enough to get that autograph because I sat across the aisle from Ozzy from Anchorage to Fairbanks. My dad worked for United Airlines, and I had told him before the show, months before the show, I said, hey, Ozzy's real name is John, and his personal assistant's name is Tony Dennis, or Anthony Dennis. And I had learned that from watching the Don't Blame Me video that had Tony Dennis in it, you know, and it said Ozzy's best friend and personal assistant was how it was listed on there. So I said, they'll be flying together. If they fly in United, let me know. And I came home one day, and there was an old dot matrix printed out thing that we always had on the counter because you could fly on passes back then. They called it SA, space available, which people still to this day, airline employees fly on. But back then there was no frequent flyer programs and things going on in the early 90s really yet. So there was always tons of first class seats available. And if you were an employee, you paid barely a difference between a first class or a coach seat. It'd be like $20 to fly in coach and $25 to fly in first class. So it didn't matter. But anyway, my family traveled a lot. So you'd come home and you'd see printouts on the counter all the time from my dad because he had printed it out, flights for my sister to travel back to college, or for my mom to go see her parents, or whatever the case may be, or my dad was traveling somewhere. So it wasn't a big deal when I came home from school a few weeks before the concert and I saw a printout on the table, and I was like, or on the counter in the kitchen. I said, oh, I wonder, you know, what this is. And I looked, and it says, to Jeremy, happy birthday and Merry Christmas, love, Dad. And I was like, what? And I look at it, and I see John Osbourne, Anthony Dennis, seats 1A and 1B, Anchorage to Fairbanks. And I just said, oh my God, no way. And I got to sit in seat 1C, right across the aisle from Ozzy. He was a little messed up. He had just had a big concert, a benefit concert, Randy Rhoads, to get the mausoleum and stuff that they have now. And there was just a bunch of stuff that went on to that. And of course, he was just in, you know, early 90s Ozzy. He wasn't quite 100% sober at that point in his life. So it's not like I had a big conversation or anything with him, and I wasn't wearing a big Ozzy t-shirt or anything because you had to dress nice when you were family of an employee or an employee. You had to wear a shirt and tie and everything. So I was dressed all nice, but he was not. I said, could I get an autograph? And he was like, absolutely. What's your name? Jeremy. And he wrote, to Jeremy, best wishes, Ozzy Osbourne. Like I just showed you, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and it was awesome. And that's how I'm going to end this video. I know that was just a few items, but we'll do some more in the next video. I'll try and be faster with it. I didn't realize how slow it would go because how cool some of these items are to look at. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Remember, kindness is free. When you're out and about today, make sure you live it up some. Bye.